Podcast. This is a show where two certified dipshits make uncertified takes about your favorite series. We are your hosts. I am Zach. Joining me as always, he swings a sword like a girl with palsy. It is Scotty motherfucking Westside.
I can show you. I got my sword right here. I can show you my sick.
I got my sword right here too, buddy.
I set you up way too easily
You
for that.
set me up real good.
You know what? To be fair, to be honest, that's an insult to girls with palsy. What Robin Aaron is doing.
That's very true.
That's just disrespectful. Just disrespect.
Absolutely, the disrespect.
The disrespect is real for sure.
Scotty, we are back.
We are back.
Dude, holy shit, we're back.
We have, there's going to be not much, if any, of a break real world time for you folks. I think
there's been like 1 or 2 weeks off, like here or there.
Yeah. We have not recorded for a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks.
Probably three or 4
It feels
weeks.
about like 3 or 4 months, Zach. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it does. Boy, does it.
We got a whole new, everything seems new. We got a new.
Yeah, we got a facelift.
Fancy
Look at
new
this. Look at how
background
beautiful it looks.
here. Zach made us a beautiful new background. I changed the position of my mic, and I kind of hate it, but we're gonna rock
Who
with
are
it.
You?
I don't know.
Hey,
We're-
can you make us go away? Can you like click to make us disappear? Let's show
Oh,
everybody
oh.
our pretty new. Oh,
You're
don't
asking
fuck
a lot.
anything up,
No,
Scott.
it's fine. I think. Boom.
Oh,
There's you gone. Where am I? There's me gone. Boom.
oh,
Look at that.
look at that.
Zach pirated this image off somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude.
But it looks
We're
great.
official here.
It looks
Does
real
look good.
Does
look
I
good.
feel like it ties in better to our Hot D series. And I liked the way that looked a lot. I'm probably going to, just full disclosure, I'm probably going to be fiddling with this mic boom throughout the entire podcast. So
Dude,
just
same.
not that mic boom, not the one you normally fiddle with through the entire podcast.
Dude, the whole time. What you guys don't know, under this desk right here, all podcast long. Just slapping away, dude.
Every time I talk about mic booms with Zach, I have to be very specific. No, not that mic boom, the other mic boom.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Scotty, I feel like we've got some catching up to do, man.
A little bit, sure.
And-
We don't want to bore the people too long, but
We don't want to bore the people. Look, full disclosure, if you guys are here strictly for the Game of Thrones talk, you're probably going to want to skip ahead a little bit. But look, Scott and I haven't actually talked in like a hot D minute.
I mean, we still text all the time, but I know
mean,
what you
yeah,
mean.
but like I
Yeah.
haven't seen your fucking beautiful slender face
True.
in so long.
Yeah.
Scott, you went on a camping trip.
I did. I went camping with the boys. Chaz, who fans of the podcast will know, and I and a couple of our other good buddies. Jake, for those who go way back to Harry Potter, we had Jake on for an episode, and our other
we
friend,
did have Jake on.
Davey, went camping in New Mexico in the mountains, and it was a fucking amazing time.
It looks so badass. I'm so sad I couldn't. be
Yeah,
there with you guys.
Zach had very busy times with work. We're gonna try and get him next year, but holy shit, it was just I love being out there so much. The folks are probably very tired of how much I talk about wanting to go camping or going camping, but I love it so much out there. If you've never been camping in the mountains, do yourself a favor. Probably get someone who knows what they're doing a little bit, because you might have a miserable time if you just go unprepared and unknowing, but
Right.
it is of
Hell
just a
yeah.
freaking
So you
phenomenal
went
time.
to the same campground that we went to.
I
last time,
did,
right?
yeah. It's just kind of old standby.
Well, I don't want to say campground, but
No,
same
yeah,
area.
same
It's part of a
area.
national
It's a
forest.
Lincoln
so it's
National
like
Forest, yeah.
dispersed camping.
It's close to where Jake has a full family. He's got like 63 kids. I don't know how the hell him and his wife do it. They're amazing. So we kind of had to stay close to where they live there in Las Cruces. So, tried and true spot. It's a great spot. I'm not mad about,
Hell yeah,
going there
man.
again. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's sick. So there's actually, I'm gonna probe here a little bit.
No, there's nothing
There's-
special going on in your life. Let's hit the recap here.
No. I want you to tell a story.
Oh, okay.
There's a story that I think is very podcast worthy about your camping trip, Scott. And it has a
Oh.
little something to do with jumper cables.
Okay.
And I would really love.
Yes, good call, Zach, because this is an amazing story, and in
It is true.
in the grand tradition of us putting Chaz on blast in this podcast, I love you, buddy, to death. You're my good friend, but you do be doing things sometimes that just make me. This happened when we went camping. So I flew into the El Paso airport because Las Cruces does not have a big airport, and Chaz drove down from Albuquerque, picked me up at the El Paso airport. The plan was Davey and Jake were going to meet us at the campsite later because they had work stuff to finish up. We get up to the campsite, start setting up. Chaz goes to move his truck or something, dead. Just absolutely stone cold, will not start. The truck is dead. And I go,
Love that.
yes, first of all, yeah. Also, bear in mind, this is truly out in the wilderness. We have zero cell service. Like, we have not had cell service for like 30 minutes of driving.
Right.
And I'm like, Chaz, what are you doing, buddy? Like, you truly, all this camping gear you've bought, you don't have one of those, like, jumper
Like
boxes thingies, like the
Yeah.
battery things that like jumps it for you. I'm like, even I fucking have one of those. And he's like, no, I don't have one. And I normally have jumper cables with me, but I took them out for some reason. And I'm like, Chaz, you don't even have jumper cables with you? What are you doing? He's like, no, I took them out. So there are people that this is a pretty secluded spot, but there are other campers, and I think there are some houses. There are people that like live further back on this dirt road. And
Right.
not much longer, a truck happened to be driving past. And Aiden, Chaz's son, runs out there, flags him down, asks them, hey, our truck's dead. Can you jump it for us? And they go, oh, you got jumper cables because we don't have any with us. And Aiden's like, no, we don't have any. They're like, okay, we'll go get some jumper cables and come back. This was all, Aiden was the only one that ran over to the road. So he is relaying all this a 14-year-old kid is relaying all this information to us. These guys are not back for like 30-45 minutes. And I'm like, they are
It's like
not.
an hour, right?
It was,
they come back?
well, at this point is when I'm thinking like they're not coming back. Like, I don't even know.
Okay, right.
I'm thinking like, I don't even know if Aiden actually talked to anyone, if he's just like talking to ghosts
just
or a
making
bear
shit
over
up.
there, just making shit up. I have no idea. I once again decide it's about time. I'm like, Chaz, you really didn't bring jumper cables with you because Jake and Davey are coming. They can jump us, but who knows if they do. Are you sure you don't have jumper cables? Well, let me look again. He fucking had jumper cables the entire time. So I'm like, what are we, Chaz, buddy, they could have jumped us and now who knows when another vehicle will come by. Well, about an hour has passed at this point, and lo and behold, we see lights coming down the opposite direction. Well, the direction that they went earlier.
Right.
And so we yell at Aiden, go run up to the road. If it's new people, tell them we have jumper cables. If it's the same guys, don't you dare fucking tell them that we have had jumper cables this
Do
entire
not say a
time.
thing.
Do not say that we have jumper cables. But if it's new people, make sure you express to them, yes, we do have jumper cables. Please jump us. So he
Dude.
runs up. It is the same guys. They drove an hour round trip to like go to their other vehicle or their home, or I'm not sure what, get jumper cables, and these good Samaritans came back, jumped us when they could have just jumped us and been out of there in 5 minutes. I felt
Dude.
so horrible.
You fucking should.
Well, listen, it's not my fault. I explicitly
By association.
by association,
dude.
yes, I felt awful because they
Yeah.
drove an hour and a half out of their way for us.
These fucking poor
these
guys.
these guys are I cannot thank them enough. All stars, gentlemen. They were extremely nice and kind about it. They were like, "Listen, it's happened to all of us. Just pass on the kindness." Great guys. So shouts to them. I don't know if they're listening.
Yeah, except they're counting on you to pass on the kindness.
Well,
The fucking devil himself.
uncalled for shot, but true. So yeah, that's what happened. Chaz, so then I guess the end of this story is like a day ago. After we're back, he sends me a picture of he got one of those like battery charging
Those
thingies.
fucking battery pack.
And I'm like, excellent. Make sure you take it out of your truck before you go camping next time.
Dude.
So that is my camping story adventure. Shouts
That's
to
so
those guys
fucking
because they
amazing.
are all stars for coming.
That
down
is
for
so
us.
fucking amazing.
Yes, let's both take a drink at the exact same time.
Yeah, that was
That's
not-
great podcast.
And that was not very great. Look, we're professional podcasters.
We are
here.
professionals here.
I wish I could have been there for that.
I
I
wish
would
you
have
could
been
have
my
too.
toes, like my skin would have been crawling.
mine
dude,
was.
just with like embarrassment.
Mine was.
Because that is just so
It
absurd.
was so
Those
funny,
fucking
though,
people. What nice guys.
What nice guys, but overall, despite the battery troubles aside, great fucking time camping. Just the absolute
Hell
best.
yeah, man. Did you make some bitchin' steaks again?
I did, yeah. We kind of went all out. We had some amazing like grilled asparagus. Did up
Fuck
the
yeah.
steaks. Had some nice like potatoes, some nice little potato.
I remember last time the only thing we had for those steaks, and they were great pieces of meat. So it's a great job on Chaz because I think he
Mhm,
bought
he
those.
did.
We just used butter and salt and pepper, right?
Butter and salt and pepper last time, I think. This time I had garlic, but that's really all you need. Butter,
Yeah.
salt, pepper, and
Oh my
garlic
fucking
is all you
lord.
need.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
True.
Anyway, I am truly jealous and sad that I could not make it, but man, work has been something else. It has been truly haunting and daunting.
Haunting
and all the
and
ings.
daunting.
Yeah, dude,
Ooh.
it's been something else, man.
Sheesh.
For those of you guys who don't know, I work in the insurance world, and at the end of every year, it is the open enrollment season. So the company I work for has us work quite a bit.
It's a busy
um,
time.
It's a very busy time.
It's like the insurance world's Black Friday, except it lasts like 2 months, right?
Except it lasts like two and a half
That
months. Yeah, it
seems
is.
ridiculous.
It is tough, man. This year. This is only my second time doing it.
Mhm.
But holy shit, man, it is like this is almost more mentally exhausting than the times like where back with the furniture store that we used to run, where like if I didn't have an assistant and I had to like work a few weeks straight, this is worse than that.
Yeah, I believe it.
This is tough.
It's tough.
But anyway,
But good news
all
for
good.
you. Something very special happened last night, Zachary.
very, very special.
Yes.
For those of you guys who fast forward 20 times once Scott and I start talking about baseball,
No one's listening right now.
we haven't been too bad lately. We haven't.
Well,
been too bad.
yeah, not because we haven't recorded in 2 months.
Well, okay, true. But my Astros won the World Series
Last night.
The fucking goats. Man, what a baseball team. This year has been just incredible to watch those guys play. They're just so dominant in every single category. It's absurd.
It's very fun. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for Dusty Baker. Everyone in baseball loves that dude, and he deserves
Yes.
his first World Series. So
Absolutely.
big time shouts
Absolutely.
to old Dusty.
I like how you were very specific about you're happy for me and Dusty Baker, but not the Astros.
I mean, some of the Astros, like not Alex
Sure.
Bregman, that guy can go fuck himself.
sure.
Altuve, kind of, yeah. Also,
No.
I like
no, none of
Verlander
that.
still. He's cool.
Don't ever throw shade at
I am
Altuve,
happy
man.
for some of the Astros and you, and very much definitely Dusty Baker.
Oh, and also important, Floyd, my guy. let me just say, I don't ever want any more of these jinx text message bullshits that ever come through.
What game was
However,
that?
I did in fact jizz myself
Oh, he definitely
that one time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
good on you for that one. I think it was I think it
They-
was game 1.
They blew a big
actually,
lead or
when they-
something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We blew a 5-run lead.
That's what it
I'm
was.
sure it was game 1.
That's what it was. Yeah. Good.
All right, Floyd.
Well-
we've got to have a chat.
As much as people are, I'm sure, loving this big catch-up time, to delay getting into the episode even further, Zach, I have one more special thing here for us.
Okay.
Because it has been a hot fucking minute since I brought us some Thronin stats.
Oh, you got the stats, and you got a little layout. So professional.
We definitely have not set this up and rehearsed this ahead of time. This is the first time Zach has
We
seen
didn't
this.
rehearse this? Fuck
But
off.
you've already seen it. So yes, I brought the stats. I think it's been like 2 whole seasons since I have done this. The list has gotten way too long for me to bring the entire thing. There's like 50 some odd people on there at this point. Actually, I can check real quick. No, I can't. I lied. So I just brought the top 15. This is the top 15 of the Who Be Thrown In. As you can see, Tywin is still commanding lead in first place. He is still a whole 12 points up on the next closest person, which is Tyrion.
And I have a sneaking suspicion we're not going to see him in the fucking top.
We might
very
not
often
see
this
Tyrion
season.
for a while. I feel like he has to, just by sheer numbers. He will catch Tywin probably eventually.
Eventually, but
Maybe not, though. I don't
know, man.
actually know.
5, 6, 7, and 8 for Tyrion. You know what? This is a spoiler-free podcast.
We'll get there. We'll
shouldn't
get
say
there.
that.
What's even more funny and crazy about that is 12-point gap between Tywin and Tyrion. A 30-point gap between Tyrion and the third place, who is Daenerys.
Holy
So
shit.
the top 2 absolutely running away with the pack. I'll just, for the audio listeners, I'll read off the entire top 15 here. Tywin, Tyrion, Daenerys, Arya, Bobby B, still holding strong from season 1.
Dude, 4 seasons through, and he's still in the top 5.
Still hanging
What
on.
a fucking legend.
Cersei at 6, Rob at 7, The Hound at 8, Littlefinger 9, Jaime 10, Jon 11, Davos at 12, Oberyn at 13. Oberyn only 1 season, and my dude makes it into the top 15. Olenna at 14, and Sam the Slayer, my fucking guy,
Sam the
sneaks
Slayer.
in at number 15 there. Tyrion still holds the longest streak for those who are curious about that. He was on the
Streak
list.
on the throne in the
On
list.
the throne
not,
list, yes.
Okay.
He was on the
Gotcha,
list for
gotcha.
10 straight episodes at one point. I think that was season 2, I assume.
Probably all of season 2,
Yeah.
yes.
Tywin nearly caught him. Tywin has a streak of 9 straight times on the list.
Damn. And then the next highest, it looks like, is Bobby B, right?
Bobby
that would
B,
make
yes.
sense.
Bobby B had the 6,
Yeah.
All 6 episodes, basically, that he appeared
Yeah.
in.
Well, he does appear in the 7th episode, but he dies, so.
Yeah, true. No one is ever going to touch his perfect 5.0 points per game, basically. Perfect record at number 1. But
Dude, that's him because he was.
he was number 1 for all 6
Number
episodes.
1.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
Almost as impressive,
That's
though. Our
hilarious.
boy Rob has 4.5 points per appearance. That dude was either first or second every time he appeared on the list. So
Wow.
also
wow.
impressive.
Man, I love this. I'm so glad that you did this.
Oh, I guess Oberyn
So-
is the same. Oberyn was also either first or second every time he was on the list.
So you have how many times they were in first place, second place? That's what I'm.
Yes,
that's what I'm reading here.
correct, Yes.
And then just total how many times they were on.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw this up.
We need to post this on the
yeah, the
on the
social.
socials, Scotty.
Definitely. If you're not watching the YouTube, we'll post this on the social and probably in the Discord. But yeah, just some kind of cool, interesting stuff. Maybe I'll put the whole thing so people that are curious can see the entire
Yeah,
list.
do a couple pages.
Yeah. But that's our
hey,
stats.
you always tell me that we should do this at the beginning of the episode. So
Oh,
while we're saying
true.
that, go follow us on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the mostly Twitter and Instagram. If I'm being totally honest, we don't really do the Facebook thing too often. But if that's your thing, go ahead. At We Don't Want a Podcast. If you're new here on the YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We talk about fun shit. Right now, we're talking about Game of Thrones. We have talked about Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon, Wheel of Time, and many, many, many more. So do the damn thing. We would appreciate it because it goes a long way.
True.
And I think without further ado, man, I think it's time for us to talk about Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 1. Definitely not Episode 41.
I forgot to give you shit
The
for that.
wars to come.
All right. Yeah. Am I starting or are you starting? I can't.
No.
remember.
I'm
Okay.
starting. You're picking up at
Yeah.
King's Landing.
All right. Hit us, buddy.
All right. So we begin Season 5 with a Cersei flashback where she visits a woods witch and wants to know her future. The witch tells her that she will become a queen, but a younger, more beautiful queen will come and take her place. The witch also says that she will have 3 children, but that all of them will die. Back to present day, Cersei goes to the Sept to see her father Tywin's body. Jaime tells her that their enemies in the realm will try and take away what Tywin built for them, and that they can't be split apart. Cersei knows Jaime is the one who released Tyrion and blames them both for killing Tywin. Tyrion, meanwhile, arrives via crate to Pentos across the Narrow Sea. Varys tells Tyrion that he is part of a group that is attempting to restore the Targaryens to the Iron Throne because Bobby B was an absolute disaster. And I tell Varys that he is the best. Oh,
No.
that he best watch his damn mouth because Bobby B is my sweet baby Bobby B boy.
True.
Tyrion is big depressed and only wants to drink himself to death. Man, samesies, my guy.
True. Yeah.
In Meereen, the Unsullied are doing extreme home makeovers and getting killed in brothels by the creepy masked sons of the Harpy. Daenerys is like, what's their problem, bro? It's not like I even conquer them or anything. I would never do anything like that. At the Wall, Gilly and Sam are worried that Sir Alliser will be chosen as the new Lord Commander and kick her out. Mel is super stoked to see that Jon is not a virgin and takes him to see Stannis. Stannis swears that he will retake the North from the Boltons and tells Jon that he needs the wildlings to fight for him. He asks Jon to convince Mance Rayder to bend the knee and swear loyalty to him, or he will burn. In the Vale, Robin Arryn is so hopeless that even Lord Royce hits him with the sick burns. My guy Royce.
Hell yeah, Lord Royce.
Dishing it out. Brienne is back to being a sullen dick to poor Pod. Just absolutely not okay.
Yeah.
She's big mad that Arya didn't want her help, and she can't find Sansa. Meanwhile, Sansa and Littlefinger ride right past them. Literally right past them. Littlefinger tells Sansa that they're going to a place that Cersei will not be able to get her.
Back in King's Landing, Cersei sees Diet Jaime, a.k.a. Lancel Lannister, for the first time since he was injured at the Battle of the
Make-A-Wish
Blackwater.
Jaime. No, not Make-A-Wish. Wish.com
No,
Jaime.
Wish.com Jaime, yeah. Make-A-Wish Jaime also kind of works, though. That's
no,
terrible.
Make-A-Wish Jaime would actually be Jaime, right? Isn't that their whole spiel?
Yeah, anyway. Uncle Kevin with an A says that Lancel's now part of a religious fanatic group called the Sparrows that have come to the city. Lancel asks for Cersei's forgiveness for their hanky-panky and for the assist on killing Bobby B, but she denies all knowledge of such things. Lancel says,
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know what you're talking about. Deny till you die, Cersei. That's the way. Lancel says
Oh, yeah.
the 7 gods will render mercy or judgment as needed. Marjorie walks in on Loras and Olivar getting frisky and tells him he should be more discreet. Loras says it doesn't matter because everyone already knows. Plus, without Tywin around, he won't be marrying Cersei anymore, which means she will stay in King's Landing and be a headache for Marjorie. Marjorie seems to have other plans. Back in Pentos, Tyrion intends to drink himself to death. I think I already said that. But
Pretty sure you said
I'm pretty
that.
sure I
but
said
it
that.
still holds
It's
true.
Still true. But Varys wants his aid, bringing peace to Westeros by helping Daenerys take the Iron Throne. Pretty sure I already recapped all this. Tyrion agrees to go to Meereen to meet her as long as he can drink. Back in Meereen, Hizdahr and Daario 2.0 have returned from their successful mission to Yunkai. Dany refuses to compromise or negotiate, however, and won't reopen the fighting pits. Dario's naked hot ass sweet talks her by telling her she should reopen the fighting pits and that she's not a true queen without her dragons.
Dude, I'm so glad you put a comma in there, because otherwise it would have been his naked hot ass sweet talking her.
That is what it's intended to be, yeah.
No, it's his actual ass. Like,
Yeah.
like the crack is just like.
Is that not?
You should open
Did we watch the
you should
same
open the fighting
episode?
pit.
Or did I
Okay,
watch
true.
something else?
You know what? You're right.
Danny visits her unruly teenage kids chained up in the catacombs, and shocker alert, they're not happy about being chained up in said catacombs.
Yeah.
At the wall, Mance tells John that he does somewhat respect Stannis, but he will never kneel and fight for him. John does what he can to convince him to change his mind, but Mance doesn't budge. That night, Stannis and Mel make a big show of burning alive the king beyond the wall. However, before Mance can suffer too much, John ends his pain by shooting an arrow into his heart and killing him. And that is this episode, season 5, episode 1. Definitely not episode 41. The Wars to Come. Zach, I watched this episode because we were going to record like 4 weeks ago. But again, it does feel like 4 months. So I'm going to need you to really carry here because my memory, I barely remember most of this.
It's okay. Look, I've got some notes, but look, here's the fact of the matter about this episode. This episode, many things happen. Like there's many individual like things that need to be addressed.
But nothing really happens.
Yes, but nothing really happens. And there's nothing truly, in my opinion, that's like stand out. There's a couple good scenes. Mostly the stuff in the north, I feel like.
Yes. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, you know what? This was probably a good episode for us to take like 40 goddamn minutes at the beginning.
2 months off.
Because, well, that and also like 40 minutes at the beginning to do our other bullshit. Because I don't feel like I will have a ton to say about this episode.
Sure.
But
I've got like 2 paragraphs of notes,
sure,
man. It's not much.
We can jump in here. I will say, to start us off, this is our first like true flashback in this series, right? If I recall correctly.
That's a very good question.
I'm pretty
you're
sure
right,
it is. Where the Cersei flashback, obviously at the beginning, has a very Lost feel to it. I know you didn't watch Lost, but I love Lost, and I dig it. I'm into it. I'm a big fan of flashbacks. I'm a sucker.
I don't love it.
I'm a sucker for a good flashback.
Except when it's in anime.
Well, anime you get
anime
like 10
flashbacks.
an episode.
Dude, yeah, man. And
Anime
it's the same
flashbacks hit
it's the same
different.
flashback music every time.
Yeah. Naruto loves
I'm looking at
flashbacks.
you, Naruto. Yeah.
Naruto loves them a good flashback.
It's so frustrating. Okay, so I would just like to point out that I feel that season 5 marks a shift. I'm not going to say a downfall because there are still things that I like during season 5 and after season 5. But
maybe not a fall, like a free fall, but down.
But there's a noticeable shift.
Yes.
In many things, but in one thing in particular that I love to like look for and that you and I love to talk about is I don't feel like the dialogue is as punchy.
It's not as good.
No. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It is punchy. It's more about the one-liners that hit rather than it being like a deep, like fleshed out conversation.
Yes. And you know where that truly hit me, where like I kind of always knew and had the feeling that, yeah, season 5 is one of the less well-regarded seasons, and I felt that as well. But watching this episode again, I do distinctly remember thinking, this Tyrion Varys scene isn't up to their usual standards. It's just kind of not great. Like they're usually, every time up until this point they've had a scene together, it's like, oh fuck, this is great stuff. And their scenes together in this episode were just kind of,
I mean, there is a, like in that aspect for that, like for their specific scenes, like there is definitely something to be said about the fact that like Tyrion is a moping mess.
For sure.
So like that is hard to have like a compelling scene. But like it does just like in some ways I feel like a lot of the dialogue in this episode, there are some exceptions, and I did make note of it because I want to make sure that you all know that like I'm going to talk about the good and the bad, and that's what we do here.
We try.
But well, right. But so much of the dialogue I feel like already just feels so surface level.
Yeah.
You know, and it is almost in a way that is like, ooh, let's have a sick one-liner that would look cool on a mug or on a shirt, rather than like, let's dive deep into who these characters are.
I feel like definitely I can think of a couple examples of like, this would look cool on a shirt. I'm thinking of one particular line.
I know which one you're thinking about.
In the later seasons, but I know what you mean. Yeah, even like this conversation between Jamie and Cersei is just kind of like, I'm kind of like whatever, like just very
yeah. There's one there is one line in it that I do like, but
Okay.
see the whole the performance as a whole just doesn't really like.
Yeah,
It's not. I don't know. There's something
there's
about it.
something off. Yeah.
So there's two things. I do want to. There's two lines that I want to point out. One is from the flashback. I love when remind me the witch's name, man.
Maggie the Frog.
Maggie the Frog. I kept wanting to say Miri Mesdur, but that's from
That's the other
season
witch.
1.
Yeah.
Maggie the Frog. When she says gold will be their crowns, and Cersei is like, "Oh, okay,"
Okay. Yeah,
and she
cool.
goes, "Gold their shrouds," and
Yeah.
starts laughing. I was like, "Okay, that's cool. That's
pretty
very
good.
witchy.
Yeah.
It's very like prophecy." So there, it's okay that it's like a punchy like line. I liked it a lot. I was like, "Ooh, that's
yeah,
that's
it's less
a spicy
punchy and
line.
more just like, oh, I'm a witch doing prophecy bullshit and
doing witch shit."
You're doing witch
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. What was this? Did you say there was a line between her and Jamie as well, Cersei and Jamie?
Yes, there was a line during the Jamie Cersei Tywin scene.
Shouts to my boy Charles Dance, by the way, for showing up this season just to lay on a slab for one episode.
Just to be like, yo,
what a champion!
In case he didn't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure he was like, sure, I'll fly to Belfast for a day. Yeah, hell yeah, to lay on a slab. Let's do it. I'm absolutely in.
Do you think there's a chance that they shot this during the prior season and just like held it?
Possible, but I doubt
season
it.
5?
I doubt it because Jamie and Cersei look, I feel like, a little different.
Sure, yeah, that's probably true.
But anyway.
Anyway, so there's two lines. They're part of the same conversation. I do like that she says, "At least he killed our father on purpose."
Oh yeah, that
like,
was a good
ouch,
one.
daggers.
Right. Yeah,
daggers.
That was a good one.
And then she says, "You're a man of action, aren't you? No matter the consequences." Well, here they are, the consequences, and she motions to Tywin's dead body, and it's like, dude, Jamie is like distraught. He's like, "Fuck, man, I suck."
I kind of feel like he's not as distraught as he probably should be, but
it's because you have
those are
Jamie,
good lines.
The book issue.
I do, and that's
the anger that he has in the book.
That's gonna probably carry over some, but anyway. I already talked a little bit about this Tyrion Varys scene. You're right in that it's probably more difficult to write these scenes with Tyrion being super depressed. I will say he did have one very funny line in here where he's talking about if he's not sure he's a lord anymore for killing his father. He says, "I don't imagine they revoke your nobility for killing a whore. Must happen all the time." And I'm just like, okay, that's
so fucked
that's
up.
pretty good. That's fucked up, but that's pretty funny.
Fucked up.
But yeah, it's just
my only note here is, sorry, pal. My only note here is, here comes drunk, sad Tyrion, and I can't say I'm particularly thrilled about it.
Yeah, and I know exactly.
This has the.
But I was just gonna say, I know exactly what you were talking about with like, oh, the punchy one-liners dialogue, where at the end of the scene, Varys kind of like does that lean back and like, who said anything about him? And I'm just kind of like,
yes,
that doesn't feel like that's kind of cringy. Like,
yeah.
You're trying too hard.
Yes.
Varys doesn't try too hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Varys is cooler
it's almost
than that.
it's almost as if they were like, hey, let's get the writers from like Dragon Ball Z to come in here and write some dialogue for us.
You are
It's just,
big.
like,
You are
kinda
big on the
cringe, corny,
anime
like-
references today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's funny.
So there's such a, I feel like there's a cool potential here. Like I really like the idea that there's like not society, that's not the right like term, but just like this like
Secret
this group of like
organization.
powerful
Yeah.
people, who are like we need to overthrow. Like
Right.
this is not okay.
And this is not.
That's such a cool idea.
It is a very cool idea. This is not earth-shattering news. We have known that Varys was involved in something along these lines since season 1, but it is still
Right.
cool and interesting to hear him just straight up say, "Yeah, I'm trying to put the Targaryens back on the throne because Bobby B
Yes.
was a disaster." You know, we have known hints of it, and like, you know, like obviously like things coming through here and there, but now it's just him like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get Daenerys on the throne." So that is cool.
Yeah. I've got to say, man, and maybe this is just my bias showing a little, but there's so many good people in Westeros.
Not according to
like-
Varys and Tyrion. They're like, no, none. There's no one.
Like, I guess like it wouldn't be able to be done with like maybe finesse. Like there would still be a lot of pushback without
Yes.
like there being something like Daenerys with dragons, you
Right.
know.
Well,
so
also
I guess
again,
I
the right family name is a big one. Like the Targaryens had been in power for so long. You know, everyone
Right.
knows and respects them as rulers. So, yeah. Shall we go to the
Anyway.
east? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is a weird. Maybe it's not weird to think the way this show does things, but the first time I watched this, I very distinctly remembering thinking like, oh, they recast Grey Worm because there's like this dude at the beginning
Oh,
who kind of looks like Grey Worm, but also it like
kind of
isn't
looks
Grey
like a
Worm.
beefed up Grey
Yeah,
Worm.
he looks like a beefy ass Grey Worm, and I'm like, did they just recast Grey Worm? Did I not hear about this? Then
Yeah,
he dies
yeah,
like
yeah.
2 seconds later, and I realized no, that's not the case. But I remembered while I was watching this, I was like, oh yeah, this is where I thought they'd recast Grey Worm. So that's funny. Yeah,
So,
Marine is still
really-
happening.
It's still a thing.
Still a
Just-
thing.
You know, it'll be a thing. It's okay.
Dude,
Just
I
spend some time there.
okay, you know, I wrote this joke in the recap, but seriously, when the guy I can't remember who they're talking to, and Daenerys says, "I didn't conquer them; their own people did." And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool out, bro. Like, yeah, I would never do anything like conquer them. It wasn't me. I didn't conquer them. it was
Wasn't
their
even
own
me,
people.
man. I just gave them a choice.
I just gave them a choice. I smuggled in weapons. It wasn't me, bro.
I also the choice I gave them also was maybe they're gonna have to go to war with me too. So
Dude, I thought that was the funniest fucking shit.
yeah,
in the world.
it's so Daenerys.
It's
you
so
know?
Daenerys. It's
So
that's
Daenerys.
that's so Raven. That's so Daenerys.
That's
Uh,
what
I
a
just-
callback from my boy Scotty
her-
Westside.
her being so taken aback by just like, I didn't conquer them.
She
I
gets
would
like the
never.
eye blast.
Yeah, like,
Like from-
oh my god, I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Okay, so
That's all
here
I
are
have
the
to
only
say.
two lines I have from Marine.
Uh-huh.
Missandei looks way too fucking hot,
Okay, sure.
and it's just, well, I guess it's the scene from later when they go back where we're back in.
Why don't
The
we just
East,
get
but-
all of Marine out of the way now?
Yeah, when Danny's in bed with Dario, she
Oh,
also
yeah.
looks really fucking hot.
This
so.
is one of the better times.
those are my only notes.
I think what I love that your only two notes are typical. I realized I don't like her with her like her super tight up hair. When her hair is just like down, she looks a lot better. That's what I realized because she does look good in this moment. When she got that messed up bed sex hair, you know.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
That's
oh,
when
yeah.
I'm way
Also,
more
like
into
the
it. suddenly.
skin looks good with the
Yeah,
candlelight
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like, she's glowing.
And Dario's
that-
hot
that-
naked ass.
And Dario's hot naked ass.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. His hot naked ass definitely convinced her to open the fighting
Yeah,
pits.
I mean,
even though,
nothing he said was gonna open that.
Yeah,
Open.
open that.
You know what I mean. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to other say. Just that her absolute refusing to like compromise or negotiate with his Dar is just like, he's just like, you gotta have some give and take here, and she's just like, fuck no, I am the ruler.
She
here.
doesn't know how to politic.
No,
I mean, like,
she doesn't.
and like you can't blame her for not
True.
knowing, but you can blame her for not seeking out advice.
Right.
You know,
And then
like,
immediately-
not seeking out.
And then immediately changes her mind when hot naked dude tells her, "Oh no, yeah, you should do that."
Well, we haven't seen her change her mind yet, so you're getting a little ahead of yourself. But
I
like,
suppose, yeah.
But she definitely is like, man, that's a hot ass. I'm probably gonna do what he's saying.
True. Also,
You can tell.
her dragon's big mad, not exactly happy to see her. Which could be a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. A scene like that's got to be tough to act. Like, just because, you know, obviously you're trying to act scared of something that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But like I specifically noticed, like, I was like, this just like doesn't look good. Like, Daenerys doesn't look good. Like, her acting, like, it's this. I can't buy this.
I didn't notice anything here particularly. I just will never stop thinking about her lifting that 3-ton shackle and just like
Yeah,
putting
from
it around
last
the neck.
season.
I will never let that go.
That was, yeah.
The North stuff. Let's talk about the North stuff, because that is,
'Kay.
like I think you mentioned earlier, the best stuff in this episode for sure.
Definitely.
Gilly and Sam. Okay, here's my big note about this quick Gilly and Sam moment. The way Sam like acts and like how he's talking about how he doesn't need training because he killed a White Walker and a Thenn is like the funniest fucking
Probably
shit.
the first time in history.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's like trying to be such a cool dude for Gilly, and he is, to be fair. But he just like, training. That's for people who haven't killed White Walkers. Yeah. It's so funny. I love him.
Sam the Slayer, man.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
He's the fucking best.
He is the fucking best. Yeah. So we get some really like there's just some like heavy foreshadowing here, right? Obviously,
Yes.
like about what is going to happen with the state of the Night's Watch.
True.
And so it is painted clearly that Alistair Thorne is
The front runner.
running the front runner
Mm-hmm.
to be the next Lord Commander. There is another. What was the other guy at the other
Oh, well, we don't
castle?
Really Bowen Marsh? No.
Bowen
Could be
Bowen Marsh is definitely a name.
That is definitely a name.
Might be him.
He might be the Lord Steward, though. I can't remember who it is.
Either way, there's somebody else who's kind of a contender.
Yeah.
But we get this scene where we get hot ass Melisandre
True.
being like, "Yo, let's go talk with Stannis, and also let me just like I fuck the shit out of you and ask you
Yo.
if you've had sex before."
You a virgin, bro? Okay,
Hey.
cool. Okay,
Hey,
cool.
You fucked before?
You fuck, bro?
fuck, right?
My dude, you fuck,
fuck.
though, right?
Yeah.
So
You've dipped it. You've dipped it in.
I love the way she just like smiles and says good when he says no, and John's
Which
just like,
I have to say why.
I mean, Mel things. I don't know. Just Mel being Mel. She wants
But why?
she wants him to be a little more competent and learned when she's eye fucking him. You know, like she doesn't want to eye fuck a virgin.
She doesn't want to. Okay, all
I
right.
guess I don't
it's
know.
it's very funny that this conversation happens so low on their journey up the thing, because then like
Oh yeah,
can
then
you
they have
imagine
to
just standing there?
just standing there in that
whole time?
elevator. for so fucking long. Yeah, I'm sure John loves that.
Yeah,
So
dude, he
funny.
loves going up the shaft with Melisandre.
I mean, who doesn't? Really.
Oh yeah,
Um,
truly.
I like that. So Stannis, basically tells John, hey, get Mance Rayder to bend the knee and swear his loyalty and all his people's loyalty to me, or I'm gonna burn him alive.
Right.
And I do really like this. Do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to come back?
Yeah,
to it?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do this.
This is skipping to the end, but I do really like this conversation between John and Mance. Like, I feel like they've always had good.
It's the best scene.
conversations.
It's the best scene in the episode for sure.
Agreed. Mance is just real honest with John. He's like, yeah, you know what? I kind of respect your boy Stannis, but I don't kneel. I won't kneel. I will lose all the respect of my people if I do. Yes, you're damn fucking right. I'm too full of pride. That's
No. Actually, so what I wanted to call out is that John says you do this and you save all these people. Essentially, you give them the opportunity to come in and like be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, don't let your pride get in the way of that. And Mance laughs at him and is like, it's got nothing to do with pride.
Oh, that's
man.
right.
And he goes on to tell him, if you cannot understand why I can't do this for my people, then there's no point in even trying to convince you or explain to you.
Right.
Which I just think is like, it's just so. This show has done an incredible job, and even till now too, done such a good job of just like showing us that like the wildlings are just. It's just a different world, man.
Yeah.
And like it is hard to grasp. Like we are so bought into like the politics and the scheming that to us it's like, well, this is a no-brainer, right? And to John, this is a no-brainer. And it's like, no, man, there's something more about these people like north of the wall. Like it's just a completely different life, you know? Sure. And Mance is like a really good bridge between the two. He kind of embodies like the understanding of both, but being like, dude, this is just, there's something more about this. And he tells him towards the end of this conversation, because Mance ultimately tells him, no, I won't bend the knee. Mm-hmm. John, before he leaves the room, he tells him, I think you're making a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
And Mance thinks about it for just a second, and he says, the freedom to make my own mistakes was all I ever wanted.
That was the best line. Yeah.
And it was like, dude, yes. So there are gems, there are definitely some gems in the dialogue in this episode. That is absolutely the top, the top of the top of this episode for sure. But like the rest of the episode just kind of feels a little like one note. Don't you feel?
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say about the stuff here at the wall. Obviously, we get, the burning scene and John, ending his suffering. I feel like the fallout of that is what's going to be more interesting. So we'll probably talk more about that next episode. But did you have anything particular to say about the ending here?
In the North, no. I think there's just a couple things that we need to talk about in King's Landing.
For sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to make sure we were good up there. Let's hit on the Vale here, I guess, real quick.
Sure. Robin Arryn, how about that guy?
Catching
what a stud, huh?
Yeah. Catching the sick burns from my guy Lord Royce. I love how like as they're leaving, like, what does he say? Something effective like, "I can promise his safety, whether or not he'll be a great warrior." And just kind of shakes his head and walks off. And just like,
as far as his progress, I don't know, man.
Very good. I'm back to hating Brienne.
I kind of feel for the kid, man. Like he's a real schmuck, but like,
fuck him.
It's because of Lysa. Lysa's just an idiot.
That's true, but he is a disgrace to the name Robin, and I will not stand for it. I hate Brienne again. That's a thing.
I never really loved her. So
I never really liked her, loved her, but just her being a sullen, just unnecessary dick to Pod, I will not stand for it.
Yeah, I mean she's kind of going through the same like, look, okay, let's be humans here for a second.
Can't do it. Impossible.
it's okay to be sad or upset
Sure.
or mad, right? Like how Tyrion is, or like how Brienne is. You know, all she's ever wanted was to fight for a lord she believed in. She says that it's a real thing, you know, and she's depressed about it. She's dealing with some things, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not entertaining. So
Also,
fuck off with all that.
That's yes, all these things, but it's also not an excuse to lash out at people for
Totally.
no reason whatsoever.
Hell yeah. Exactly.
Pod
We get
Pod is a kind and gentle soul,
Just trying to help.
just trying to
Maybe
be
not the
helpful.
best, but just trying to help.
He does his best, and that's all you can ask.
If she just like asked Pod to maybe hit it, maybe she'd be a lot happier
True.
the next day.
Apparently
Because
he's-
like apparently Pod the sex god
Pod the
knows
sex
what's up.
god, yeah. I have nothing to say about Sansa and Littlefinger. Do you?
I mean, Sansa looks great.
Okay, fair.
And no, you know what? I do have something. to say.
Okay, hit us.
It has taken a very long time for us to kind of like get to this point with Sansa, but like, whereas with Arya, who I feel like is kind of her, like her stark contrast. You see what I did there?
I do see. What you did there. You fucker.
It happens like immediately where Arya is like taking in from every person that she can.
Sure.
We
Sansa's
are
finally-
seeing Sansa grow. I mean, and we pointed this out last season when she has her like conversation with like Roy, Sir
Yeah,
Royce
yeah.
or whatever his name is, and the other people. But she's asking questions like almost in a way where she's like, I'm kind of trying to be taught, you know, like I'm trying to learn. Like, you know, she's like, you said we were going to the Fingers.
Right.
We're going west. What's that about? You know, and it's not really her challenging him, but she's like legitimately trying to understand the game.
Right, sure.
And she continues to like question, and it's like, well, you don't, you know, do you trust the people who are driving this wagon? He's like, no, but you know, and so he's teaching her whether he knows it or not. And it's a good look for Sansa to like kind of finally see that.
For her to be
And
less
it-
of a spectator and more.
More
Well, I mean,
involved.
she's still spectating, but she's learning while she's doing.
She's
so.
still she's involved though,
Yes.
and I think that's like it's more of an opportunity for Sophie Turner to shine and do more and like have more dimension as a. I shouldn't say that because she does still have a lot of dimension like early on, but
Mhm.
she's just like she's being more proactive. I
Right.
feel like more intentional with like what the character is doing.
Sure.
And it's really refreshing to see, and she looks great doing it. So I'm all about it.
We're all about that.
Yeah. Now, it is very funny that they drive right past Brienne and Pod. Pod's like, huh,
Funny.
what's that
Oh,
noise
cool.
over there?
Cool carriage.
Oh, you talking about Sansa? You're never gonna find her? Interesting.
What a
Who are those
coincidence.
people? Okay, what a coincidence.
Just
But
kind
yeah,
of
that's the whole thing.
unnecessary and stupid.
It
if
is,
you ask
and
me,
and
but
see, like that is kind
that's
of like,
exactly kind of what we're talking about. Yep.
yes, that is what we're talking
Just
about.
like you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to be like,
It's
oh,
almost
look at
like-
that. They're right there. Isn't that so funny and cute? And oh,
It's almost like it's like slapstick,
yeah.
you know, but like medieval
medieval
and not
slapstick.
and not like
That's
slapstick,
no.
but it's like in that vein.
them riding by right as they're talking about them. I'm pretty sure that's literally a Monty Python and the Holy Grail bit. Like not literally,
It
literally,
absolutely is,
but
yeah.
it feels like it absolutely should be.
It absolutely is.
Anyway, let's talk about Wish.com. Jamie Lannister. For a
right.
minute.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go back to King's Landing. I think that's the last thing we really need to talk about, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
So these sparrows. Lancel is now a sparrow. Uncle Kevin with an A. My fucking guy is like a Tywin of.
Kavan.
Yeah.
Kevan.
Tywin would have never stood for these fanatic fuckers if he was still alive, but they're here now. I'm sure as shit not gonna do anything about it. Because I'm Uncle Kevin with an A. And
Kevin with an A.
Lancel is just kind of like subtly threatening
Dude.
Cersei over here.
Yeah, he just walks up and he's like,
Yeah.
Hey, remember all that bad shit we did? Yeah, well, I am saved and
Yeah.
I am past that, but you're still a piece of shit.
Yeah. Also,
It's so fucking funny.
the part of this I got a real big kick out of is how funny Cersei thinks it is that Lancel is praying for Tywin's soul. Like he says something
Oh,
like,
yes,
"I
dude.
pray for the soul of your father," and she's just like starts laughing. She's like,
That'll be the day.
Yeah, that Tywin Lannister's soul needs your help. Like, okay, my guy.
Yeah.
That was very, very good.
What I think is maybe even better in this scene is when poor fucking Loras is just trying to do his do what's right and expected, and he's like just trying to be like he's a
My
force to be
deepest
reckoned
sympathies.
with.
Yeah, a force to be reckoned with.
And he says that like 2 or 3 times, and Cersei, it's
Just-
just like the shot is Cersei's face with Loras behind her.
So funny.
And he's just like rambling, trying to say like some nice shit. And she's like, dude, fuck off, bro. I don't care.
And then what does she say? That it's very kind of you to say, Sir
That's
Loras,
very
or
kind of
something
you to
like
say.
that. It's so,
And she walks away.
it's so there was just like
Fucking
a
legend.
heavy sigh there too. It's so good. Yeah, I do just think to remember the just truly a force to be reckoned
A
with.
force to be
I'm like, that's
reckoned
very
with.
good. That's very good. That's very real when it's like you're at some kind of social gathering, whether it's a funeral or whatever it is, and you
Yeah.
don't quite know what to
Where
say,
you're going,
where
but
you're
you start.
so you just kind of just truly a force to be reckoned
Well,
with.
and what it's so funny is that he says force to be reckoned with first, or
Yeah.
like at one point where it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then he
Doubles
keeps
down.
trying to like make it come out
Yeah.
and go and like make it longer and like good, and he's like, I don't know what else to say. Like he really is a force to be reckoned with, ain't he?
It's so good. You got to double down on that
It is
shit.
so good.
We get the Marjorie and Loras and Oliver thing. Obviously, this is mostly just set up for later. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. A lot of this is set up. I mean, it's a season premiere. That's how these go generally.
General Lee. You shouldn't say it like that. You shouldn't say it's a season premiere, because season 4 had an unbelievable
Well,
premiere.
you can't compare it to
Season 1 had an
swords.
unbelievable
Yeah,
premiere.
True. But seasons 2 and 3, I feel like had season premieres more in line with this. Maybe not. Like they're definitely. I'm not gonna say that they are like. We have talked plenty about the feel and the problems and the writing in this episode.
Yeah.
So that notwithstanding, I feel like season 2 and 3 premiere. Seasons 2 and 3's premiere. I don't know what I'm saying.
What in the fuck is happening? Are you having a stroke?
Yes, I'm getting a cold. I do not feel well. I'm double fisting drinks over here. My tea and
He's
my.
double fisting
I'm-
something else too, man. Let me just fucking tell you guys. Look,
it's just a lot of
this
setup. Is
episode-
all I'm trying to say.
This episode though, like, okay, I guess I'm sure that there is a lot of bias because I know how I feel about this season.
True.
And I know what happens in this season, and
Yes.
so do you. And I think that is probably where a lot of this is coming from.
Yes.
However, every season leading up to now, although the first episodes, maybe despite season 1, because when you go into it not knowing what to expect, you don't really know what to be looking for or what to be excited for. Although season 1 premiere is incredible,
Mhm.
then that's, so I'm not saying otherwise. I guess what I'm saying here is that, like, season 4, yes, it's set up, but all of the setup was for things that is like, oh shit, I need to know that. I need to
Right.
get there. I need to see that.
And also just the
Nothing
execution of it was also incredible.
Yes,
Flawless.
Yes, I agreed, but like even that off the table, like what is being set up in this episode?
Is not
I don't like the
as
only
interesting.
thing that seems interesting is like Stan is taking back Winterfell.
Yeah. The North stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like I just kind of feel like we're twiddling our thumbs.
No, I agree with you. And I will say that our biases aside, I feel like, not to like sing our praises too much, although we do kind of kick ass.
Although.
I feel like we have done a pretty good job of, as we're going back through these, really putting these episodes individually under the microscope, because just the last episode we did before this, The Children, which you and I have widely and long held as maybe our favorite episode of the entire series, we weren't as high on this time.
Yeah.
And
true.
so I feel like we definitely are truly scrutinizing and giving each of these individual episodes, their chance, their shot. And there's just something about this episode. It doesn't feel quite up to Game of Thrones, especially coming off season 4, like the usual standards, like in the writing and the presentation and just the stuff they are setting up for is not as interesting. And part of that could be because we know where it goes.
Right.
But it's just not as interesting right now.
I will say this, like, to those of you guys, because I want to make sure that we're not like, we understand that there's a lot of you guys who are listening and watching who are watching through Game of Thrones for the first time. And I want to make sure that we're not in a way like kind of like, like we're not trying to like give you some preconceived notions of like not enjoying, because this is a genuine sentiment here. Like the moments in this season are fantastic. Like the things that, like, when things come to fruition and the things that happen and like the big, like, like the key moments, they're great.
Sure.
I just think that like when we're comparing, especially, you said this already, but like it's coming off of a season like season 4, which I hold as one of the best seasons of television ever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Keep pushing your mic down.
It just completely.
It just keeps popping back up. Man. Yeah, I hold season 4 as like one of the best seasons of television ever. Right up there with like True Detective season 1. It is just like a complete, just fantastic season. Yes, it does start a little slow, and it is tough to kind of make that transition. But aside from that, like even without the contrast of something great like season 4, it does feel like there's just some moments that like are a little lacking, and maybe just kind of like you're kind of just on a ride to get to the places that you want to go to. You know, like you're not like the ride is not as, there's not as much that happens, I guess, along that ride, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just, for those of you who are, and again, not trying to like lead you along or like color your expectations at all, but maybe just don't expect this season to be as good as season 4.
Yeah, I mean, don't expect any season of television to be that good.
Maybe just have that in your back, stick that in your back pocket.
Yeah,
that it's very, very difficult to top season 4. Also, one of my favorite characters and maybe pound for pound the best actor in the show is now gone and out of the show forever. So that doesn't help its case much. But anyway, anything else you want to talk about with this?
What do you rate this episode, Scotty?
Do we do that, or we did Who Be Thrown in first?
I don't know. We don't run this show anymore. We don't even do this anymore. We haven't done this in 3 months.
It's not been that long, but it feels like it. I think I go like a 4, 5.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
5. I'll give it a.
Oh wait! Hold on. This remind me here, pal.
No, you remind me.
No. In our Game of Thrones show, in this show, we're giving a scored rating based off of how great Game of Thrones, relative to Game of Thrones,
relative to other Game of Thrones episodes.
Okay,
yes.
All right, not relative to all television.
No, which is why I think I go.
Why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves, my guy?
You're the one that's big on the ratings. 4.75. That's
Oh,
my final
shit.
answer.
I think I'm gonna go 5-5.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not a bad episode. It's just not great.
Yeah, it's just not great. Speaking
it's not
of things that are not great, I mean things that are great. Who be thrown in? Fuck, I screwed that
Who
transition
be
up.
thrown-
So bad.
Why are you throwing shade to who be thrown in?
No, poor who be thrown in. You don't deserve that.
Hey, Scotty, you gotta drag down the who be thrown in just like a hair.
Okay, let me get right on that. Oh, that'll.
It
fuck
just
up.
looks like some of it's
No, because then I want to see his eye. And
no. You trying to see that red eye, aren't you?
dude, it's gonna fuck up everything. Let me
It's gonna
read. Let me read who was on it last time and
Okay,
take
you
them
don't need
off.
to do anything. It's fine. We
So
can do
then
this for
I
next
can
time.
move it. We'll move it later. We'll fix it in post. I'm sure.
I don't think that's
I don't think
possible.
that's gonna happen. Where we last left off, this was for the season 4 finale. Arya had taken the top spot at 1. The Hound was at 2. Tyrion was at 3. Jon Snow was at 4, and Stannis the Manus was at 5, and Sir Pounce was just living there
In
on the
memoriam.
throne, in memoriam. So Arya was not in this episode. She can come down. The Hound is obviously not in this episode. He can come down. Stannis was. Do you think he has a case? Okay, here's what I just realized. I don't know who the fuck. How are we gonna fill 5 fucking spots for this episode?
That was absolutely what I was just thinking.
Who the fuck? There are 5 people that had even a decent episode. John stays. John had a good episode.
John Mance, even though he died,
I could see
R.I.P.
a Mance.
he had the best scene in the episode.
He had the best scene in the episode, probably. I could definitely see a Mance Raider. I'm gonna leave Stannis the Manus because we might just need bodies, warm bodies to fill
I mean,
these
look,
spots.
Stannis isn't in a bad position.
No, and he's also like promising Jon that he's gonna like take back Winterfell and fuck up.
He's
the
got big
Boltons.
plans.
So I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Tyrion does not make the list, right?
Fuck no,
Okay.
Tyrion doesn't make the list.
You make weird arguments for Tyrion sometimes, so I just never know with you.
I make totally
Nah.
normal and calculated
Nah.
arguments for Tyrion,
Nah.
bro.
Who else? Sam. Sam makes the list.
Why? Just because he's in the
Just
episode?
because he's in the episode and he's awesome when he's telling Gilly he doesn't need training. That's hilarious.
Does okay? Hold on. Okay, let's think about this for a second.
No, I'm thinking.
Does Varys make the list?
Sure, why not? He got Tyrion to agree to come with him, I guess. I guess that's a win.
And I mean, and if we're giving kudos to Stannis because of his
Plans. Yeah.
his plans, I mean, Varys is on a he's going on a direction.
He also made fun of my sweet baby
Dario.
boy Bobby.
Dario
Beano.
makes the list with that ass.
I don't think
He's
I
got to make the list with that
fucking
ass.
have Dario, are you kidding me?
Okay, you know what? Dario doesn't make the list. We're all about convenience here, guys.
Bran, fuck no. Pod,
Fuck
no. Sansa and Littlefinger, I don't think so. Littlefinger, maybe. Cersei, no.
You know, that's a super fair. We weren't thinking about that because there's not a whole lot that like happens.
Yeah.
But Littlefinger be doing shit, man. I mean, Littlefinger
He does.
is
He's-
essentially in control of the veil. Excuse
He
me.
is making moves. I'll shake that. I think Littlefinger makes the list. Who are we putting up top? John? Mance? For the audio listeners, Zach made a real displeased face when I suggested John, so I went to Mance and the face got way worse. I have no fucking clue.
Sir Pounce.
Sir Pounce stays in the Iron Throne for always and forever.
God.
Danny, no fucking way, right? His darn no. I don't think anyone in the East.
Dude, can we please just put Missandei because she's so hot?
No, she's not
Dude,
on the
when
list.
she's looking at Grey Worm,
Shut the fuck up, Zach.
Oh
I
my
hate you so much.
God, dude.
Uh,
Natalie Emanuel,
she does
dude,
look
she
really
is
good in that
the
scene, though. Yeah, when she's talking to him about
unsung hero.
why would an Unsullied go to the brothel, she just looks so. She's like
looks-
concerned and sweet about it, and just like she does look good. She does. Look really good.
And she's interested.
Yeah.
She's in, like, she cares.
Yeah.
And boy,
She
does that
cares.
look good.
Yeah. She cares, and boy, does that look good. True. Okay, so it's Littlefinger, John, or Mance for one. Pick one.
I am actually torn between Littlefinger and Mance. Mance, I think, like, gave us the best performance of the episode.
But he also died.
But he dies. Littlefinger is hardly in it, but he's making the most moves. He is throning the most
He is
right
throning
now, I
the
feel
most. Let's put him at one.
like. Okay, I will shake that. for
I
sure.
think I want John at two over Mance, though. Because John didn't die.
Do we hold on, wait, do we consider Alistair?
No, because I mean he hasn't done anything yet. We just know he's a front.
He's the front runner to be the next
front-running
Lord
king.
Commander.
That means nothing. That means
Okay.
nothing.
All right,
You
fine.
know I love Alistair, but no.
Yeah, okay, all right, fine.
Mance goes 3.
Sure, yeah.
Man dies, but he had a really good scene. Are we
Varys?
forgetting anyone? Probably, but no.
I don't think
I
we
don't
are,
think we
honestly.
Kevin, Uncle Kevin. Where the fuck is Uncle Kevin with an A?
Like okay, so hold on. Let's actually go through this. So we wouldn't do like Cersei or Jaime,
No,
right?
Jaime
Their
or
position
Cersei,
is
yeah.
fucked.
Cersei is in a real rough spot
Um,
with Lancel being back.
We could say maybe Marjorie, although she's like
I thought about
barely-
Marjorie briefly, but nah.
I don't think next to Varys or Stannis. Like, although her position is probably better than theirs,
She just was barely
She
in
just-
this episode.
she's barely in the episode.
I think it goes
Um,
Stannis Varys or Varys Stannis. I think the Sam thing was only half a joke, but I'll take him down. I think it's Varys and Stannis. In what order?
Varys and Samus, Zero
that
Suit
what I
Samus, Zero Suit Stannis.
Oh, hell yeah. Sign me up for Zero Suit Stannis. I do not care the order of those two.
I think it's got to go Stannis, Varys.
Okay. I agree with that. Also, the North is just, we'll put the North buddies together, and the North is just more interesting, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
Where the
Yeah,
fuck
agreed.
are you, Varys?
He's
All right.
literally on the screen.
Well, I know, but shut up. It's difficult to select. You don't understand. You don't understand my pain, Zach. Anyway, that's who we thrown in. Number 1. This is the saddest.
Go bottom to top, my guy.
Yeah,
You
true.
start at the base and get to the tip.
I always, yeah. This is the saddest week of Who Be Thrown In ever. Varys at 5, Stannis at 4, Mance Rayder at 3, Jon Snow at 2, and Littlefinger at 1. All so deserved. Like, how did we even fit all these great candidates, Zach?
There were so many to choose
There's
from.
so many to choose
We
from.
worked so hard to get to this stage.
Oh boy, I almost clicked on the House of the Dragon scene. So you're welcome that I double checked.
Yeah, don't fucking do that.
I tried real hard. Maybe it's off season. Maybe I'll get rid of that one. Take us out of here, my dude. I need to take medicine and go to bed.
Oh my god. Guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to the We Don't Want a Podcast. Listen to us talk about Game of Thrones, Season 5, Episode 1.
Us talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we didn't talk about anything other than Game of Thrones in this
Yeah.
episode. I said it at the top of the episode, but I'm going to say it again. Follow us on the Twitter and Instagram at We Don't Want a Pod. And also join the Discord. Shoot us a DM or an email or something to join the Discord. We will send you a link, an invite link. You guys can come hang out. We can talk about Game of Thrones. We are still talking about House of the Dragon. Do the goddamn thing. Come hang out with us. We would appreciate it so much. Also, we still got merch. Link in the description. If you guys are looking for some hoodies, long sleeves, shirts, cool stuff, we still got some things for you guys to... What is going on?
I'm out of both of my drinks. And
Edward
the
40 hands over here,
podcast.
my guy.
I'm dry over here.
Oh, I'll lube you up, baby.
Damn it. Okay.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We will see you guys next time. Bye.